Corner, my name is Rose Blossom. It's good to be here again. Remember, this program runs from Monday through Friday, every 11 o'clock to 12 p.m. Okay, 12 noon. Let's do it like that. All right, you're welcome to the show. Remember, the Women's Corner is all about women, and at the same time, we try to, talk about children, talk about men as usual, because we can't do it alone without these two amazing people. But anyways, I have an amazing guest that will be joining us today on the program, and of course she's sitting pretty already, ready to join us to talk about something very interesting which a lot of people should know, and that relates with children, which is nutrition and health for children. So yes, this is one thing every mother, every woman, intending mothers that maybe you're pregnant and all of that, these are the things you need to know about a child, what you need to feed them with, and how you need to make sure they are well and healthy. But before I introduce my guests for today, let's quickly go on a short break. And of course, after the short break, we'll be playing a tip. Now, this tip is about health. It's going to help every other person, both children, both men, and of course, both mothers. So let's first take that tip. And right after the tip, we'll introduce our guest and we'll start talking about nutrition and health for children. We'll be right back. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. We're supposed to play a tip. Please, can you play a health tip for us? Thank you very much. You're not supposed to come back to me, but let's play health tips so that we can introduce our guests and start talking about nutrition and wellness and health for children. We'll be right back.
How to improve a child's brain. Provide enriching experiences.
Because I don't have the wrong.
The brain learns best when it is challenged with new information and then relates the new information to what the child already knows. Exposing the baby to new things help the brain strengthen old connections and make new ones. Even simple activities like a trip to the library or grocery store can expose your baby to new things that help strengthen connection in your brain. But don't overstimulate the child. Too many new things at once or experiences that are too challenging will only frustrate your child and make great stress. Everyday activities are important. The good news is that supporting healthy brain development isn't difficult or expensive. The things you already do as a parent contribute to your child's brain development. Simple activities like cuddling, reading, and singing are important for your baby's growing brain. When you rock your child, their brain strengthens emotional connections that lead to secure relationships. When you read aloud or sing to them, the brain pathways for language become stronger. These little things make a world of difference in brain development. Here are some simple but important ways to build your baby's brain. Read. Reading is one of the best ways to promote a child's brain development. Even before he or she can recognize letters or words, reading kickstarts language and communication skills. Hearing words and seeing pictures connects the two in the child's mind. Repeating the same books further builds recognition between the words you speak and the image on the page. As a child grows, ask him or her to point to specific pictures in the book, like, "Where is the dog?" Let kids choose. According to research, 89% of kids agree that their favorite books are the ones they've picked out themselves. When story time rolls around, let your baby choose. Keep books within their sight and reach and pay attention to what titles capture your baby's attention. You can go back to that book again and again. Take care of yourself during pregnancy. Your baby's growth starts while they are still in the womb. Proper nutrition and avoiding things like smoking and drugs or alcohol use can help your child to reach their full potential. Regular health care during pregnancy can help to prevent complications and premature or preterm deliveries that can impact a baby's brain.
All right, welcome back. Yes, you're still watching Women's Corner, and of course, like I said, we're talking about nutrition and health for children. Today we have an amazing guest. She's a nutritionist, I'm going to say that. She's Adekemi Owade, and she's a food technologist. She's a quality control personnel, a baker, an event decorator. She's also a product developer. She's a nutrition and health personnel, like I said. She's a project manager and a member of NIFST. Good morning, Adekemi.
Cannot hear you. I don't know if you are hearing me.
Good morning. Can you hear me, ma?
Good morning, madam. I cannot hear you.
Okay, you can hear
Your
me?
voice. Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay, you can hear me
Good
now. That's
morning.
great. That's great. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
joining the program. It's good to have you.
you are welcome. Same here, madam.
All right. Now, I saw your profile, and it is well profiled. You've worked with a lot of nutrition and food company, and I'm certain you already know what and what not children should take. So we're going to start first with children. What are the basic things that you need a child? You think a child needs to have in food, and what are the things you think maybe like food or fizzy drink, packaged processed food that maybe mothers need to avoid for their children, so they don't get deficient in some natural vitamins they need to have.
Thank you, madam. So, like you said, for children, especially when children are growing up, they are in a very delicate state that as parents, especially as mothers, we need to be very careful on what we feed them. So the major thing, especially from the age, right from where you are pregnant down to 2 years, the baby needs to be fed with very nutritious meal. And that is why pregnant women are being advised to make sure that they take adequate nutrient during pregnancy. So from age 0 down to 6 months, babies are expected to be fed with breast milk, and from 6 months down to 2 years, then they should be given proper food. It may not be in large quantity, but at least it should be more nutrient dense. Meal like grains, like dairy products, like grains. When I talk about grain, I mean like beans. Then they can also be fed poultry product like egg. Then also they should also be fed good fibers. They should be given fruits, fruit is rich in fibers. Then what should they not be fed with? They should not be fed with added sugar, because sugar are already present in most of the meal they are being given. But we find out that most parents, most mothers these days, when you check the lunch boxes of most kids that they take to school, you find out that they are filled with all these fizzy drinks like you talked about. And many of them, they are made up of artificial ingredients. That's what most of them they are made with. Then also, most of the cereal that we feed our children with in this present world, because most parents, we are looking for meal on the go. And these are things we need to reduce. Then also, we should reduce all the saturated fats. When I talk about saturated fat, this you can see in food like pizza, you see them in sandwiches. They are also present in sandwiches. Then hot dog, like you can't see it in my house. I made my children to understand that it is not healthy for them, because most of the time they are made up of artificial ingredients and they are not good for our health. So parents should reduce this. Then the third thing that we also need to reduce is salt intake. So we should not give our children salty snacks that we find out that the salt level are too high. Then we should not allow the children to take them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that advice, because I know a lot of parents. In fact, let me just ask this. I know a lot of parents, when they are taking their children to school, you see them when they pack food. Yeah, sometimes they pack their lunch box and you see, the little portion of food. Then you see fruits, which is nice, but sometimes, how it is packed is not refrigerated. And sometimes I feel it's even unhealthy for those children, but they pack the fruits because obviously they probably made the peels themselves. So, and at the end of the day, you see them putting a lot of all this I will not call it, I don't know if I should call it sachet, but it's always this boxed drink. Yeah, you see little, they have different brands.
Okay.
They put them there, they put a lot of biscuits, a lot of sweets, no chewing gum obviously because they are children. They pack all of these things. Now I just want to ask you as a nutritionist, do you think those packages, even as though when they pack them, they feel like, oh, I'm feeding my children very well, this is what they need to eat, this is how they will grow, this is what will help them. What is your thought about that packaging? Do you think the packaging is wrong or is right, or they should even do more?
It's like I said earlier, most of them are made of artificial sweetening. You understand? They are made of added sugar. So as parents, we need to minimize that. Because they are kids, definitely they will want to take it. So I will not say we should abolish it 100%, but we need to reduce their intake. Like I told you, when my children were growing up, like now, what I do, you see Zobo live in my house. So by myself, I make all these drinks, I pack them inside the freezer. Then when they are going to school, maybe it will be with block, then I put it in their lunch bag. So before it will be time for them to take it, it will have defrost and it won't get spoiled. Then if I'm to make fresh fruit, I make sure that it is also frozen, so that when they are ready to take it, it will have, because when they get to school, they won't be able to put it in any fridge. Then their lunch bag also is also added. So at least to some extent, before like their lunchtime is around 11:30, so it will be fine to take at that time. So sincerely, as mothers, we need to reduce all this intake, because this is what you find out that even young children of nowadays, some of them are experiencing all this obesity, some are having palpitating heartbeat. Some kids, they are not healthy. Why? Because of what we eat. Because our output, that is what we bring out, it is a factor of what we take in. So your health, the way you, how shall I put it? Let me say, how healthy you will be will depend on the kind of nutrient you are feeding the child. How healthy the child will be will depend on the kind of food you are feeding the child. So I will advise mothers to reduce the amount of all these fizzy drinks that they are giving to their children. You can't outrightly remove it from their pack, but at least let it be reduced to the barest minimum. I won't say my children don't take it, but at least they know it's once in a while. The same thing with biscuits. Then another thing, children, they run around, they play. So we believe that even when they take all this, by the time they run around, they will burn it. But still, we should make sure that we control their taste bud. We should control their taste bud so that because it's what they are used to right from when they are small, that is what they will end up growing up with. So I don't know if that answers the question.
Yes, definitely. That answers the question. I totally agree with that, because I always see a lot of people, some people even make content out of it. How I wake my children in the morning, I pack this, I pack that. And you see people in the comment section, oh, when I have my kids, I'm going to do the same thing. But something in me just keeps telling me, I don't think this is a healthy packing, because you see them, the fruits, even, like apple now. Take, for example, you want to cut an apple and you want to slice it for the kids, so the kid, apple turns brown after cutting just few seconds. It's almost the same thing as having a sliced onion into half and you keep the other half on your shelf or whatever you use the other. By the time you're coming back, from what I know, if you cut an onion, you don't go back to the one you left open, because it attracts microbes around, and that is very unhealthy. Very so correct. I think it's the same thing that probably happens to apple. I've never had to make the finding, so I just know it's not healthy. Plus the fizzy drinks, like you said, it has preservatives and all of that. Now I want to go over to the part of, there are some children, despite seeing all of these things, imagine how you pack those things, and even an adult will be like, wow, I feel I'm the one eating all of this. I think I'll be living a healthy lifestyle. But there are some children who are very picky. they don't want to eat. You see some of them will tell you, no, I don't want to take oat, I don't want flakes, I don't want this, I don't want that. Some will tell you, you will see some children for like 6 months, all they want is noodles. Sometimes again, you see they change, all they want is rice. Their taste but keep changing. I want to ask, as a nutritionist, if you have an idea, but definitely I'm sure you do. So what do you think for children who are very picky eaters, how do you think mothers should be able to maintain their nutritional health and make sure that they are still eating a balanced diet, because they are children, so at that point they need the best meal ever?
Okay. So, like you said, some children are very picky. Like me, I have 2 boys. One is ready to eat anything, while the second one at times can be picky. When they were growing up, I made sure that, like when they were growing up, my son likes to eat beans. But as time goes on, when he became more, he understand better, then he will tell me, Mommy, I don't want beans. What I do was I try to make him understand the benefit of eating beans. If you eat beans, do you want to be tall? Do you want to be chubby? Do you want to look healthy? You understand? So right from when he's leaving the house, then I will let him understand that it's beans that I'm putting in your lunch bag. Then I will make it attractive. He doesn't like it in porridge form. Then because of him, I fried the stew. I had plantain. So one thing parents need to do when you know that your child is picky about any particular meal, and you know that a particular food, and you know that it's very important for his growth and development, one of first thing to do is let him or her understand the benefits that are embedded in the food. Then 2, prepare the food in a way that we want to eat it. Now, at times, he will be the one to tell me, Mommy, see, it's beans I want to take to school tomorrow. Why? Because I did not give up. I keep on trying different style until he was able to accommodate it. Then another thing we can also do is, if a child does not like a particular food, then we can also look for an alternative that is also healthy. I also have a son, the second one does not really like, he prefer eating junks instead of eating real food. But I let him understand that junks will not do you good. Rather, it is food that we prepare as in homemade food. Those are the ones that will make you grow well. And that one, you know what is inside, unlike the other one that we don't know how they prepare it. So I make sure that, it was not easy at the beginning, because when you prefer eating biscuits, taking pizza, taking burger, going to eatery, that is what he prefers. But I have to let him understand that, yes, I'm not saying they are not good things to do. Once in a while we eat out, but at least like 80% of the time, let it be homemade. This one, we know what we are doing. Like now, I don't buy shawarma for my children because they are in the range of age 9 and 10. What I do is I buy the shawarma bread and I make the fillings myself. We do it together. So I let them understand. The one we buy outside, most of them put the hot dog. Then I let them understand the hot dog is not healthy. So I do it in a way that they also want to eat it. Now, if I make the fillings, they can make it by themselves and eat it. So any child that is picky, that thing they like, there's a way you make it in an healthy way. And that way they can still eat it, but in an healthy manner.
Okay, thank you very, very much for that one, for clarifying the air on that. Anyways, we're going to take a breather now. We still have Adekemi in the building with us. Okay, not in the building. She joined us via Zoom. But we still have Adekemi as our guest. She'll still be talking about child nutrition and, of course, health for children also. We're still going to be talking about that, but while we are still there, while we'll still continue, but put her on hold so she could take a breather before we ask more questions. I want us to take another tip. And the reason why I'm bringing this tip on cooking gas, the reason I'm bringing this out is because just yesterday I got a news from someone, I don't know, it's circulating more like a broadcast, and where a woman was actually burnt out with her kids actually in the house. You know, the gas exploded. Some persons have their gas very close, or maybe even in the kitchen. Excuse me, you have your gas, and you have the gas, then you have the cylinder, you have the or that thing where you put your pot on, then you have the gas cylinder itself very close, or even in the kitchen. It's very much advisable that you have to put it outside of your house. And I think the mistake was, one of the mistakes is we always put it in the house, and it's definitely, you know, gas is very flammable. Just a little leak and everywhere exploded, and you know, both her and her 2 children died on the spot. It was something they could not even help. So I decided to pick this tip and say, let's talk about cooking gas, how you can, you know, be safe, maintain safety when it comes to using cooking gas. There was a time we're using kerosene in Nigeria. I know some people are still using kerosene, but we know kerosene is pretty expensive right now. So let's quickly go for the tips on cooking gas, and when we come back, we'll continue the program with Adekemi. So stay with us, let's go for the tips, and we'll be right back.
6 safety tips on cooking gas. Cooking gas is an essential energy source used by millions of households around the world. While it provides convenience and efficiency in the kitchen, it is important to prioritize safety when using cooking gas to prevent accidents and potential hazards. By following some simple safety tips, you can ensure a secure cooking environment for yourself and your loved ones. Tips for safety on cooking gas. Proper ventilation. When using cooking gas, ensure that your kitchen has adequate ventilation. Good ventilation helps to dissipate any gas leaks and prevent the accumulation of dangerous fumes. Open windows, use exhaust fans, or install a range hood to facilitate proper airflow. Regular maintenance. Get your gas appliances including stoves, ovens and cylinders inspected and maintained regularly by a professional. This helps to identify and address any potential issues such as leaks, faulty connections, or worn-out parts that could lead to gas-related accidents. Check for gas leaks. Gas leaks are a major safety concern. To detect leaks, apply a solution of soapy water to the gas cylinder, regulator and connections. If you notice bubbles forming, it indicates a leak. In such cases, turn off the gas supply immediately. Open windows for ventilation and contact a professional gas service provider to fix the problem. Store gas cylinders properly. Gas cylinders should be stored in a well-ventilated area away from direct sunlight, heat sources and flammable materials. Keep them in an upright position and secure them with a safety strap or chain to prevent accidental tipping. Safe cylinder handling. When handling gas cylinders, always ensure proper lifting techniques. Avoid dragging or rolling cylinders, as this can cause damage to the valves and increase the risk of leaks. Never attempt to repair a damaged cylinder yourself. Instead, seek professional assistance. Fire safety precautions. Keep a fire extinguisher within reach in the kitchen and learn how to use it effectively. In case of a fire, turn off the gas supply, evacuate the area, and contact the fire department immediately. Proper cooking practices. While cooking, never leave the stove unattended. Avoid using loose or flammable clothing that could accidentally catch fire. Keep flammable objects like curtains, paper towels, and plastic utensils away from the stove. And more importantly, teach family members and be prepared for emergencies always.
Alright, welcome back. You're still watching Women's Corner, and yes, we're talking about nutrition and health for children, and we have Adekemi. Adekemi is a food technologist. She's a quality control personnel, a baker, event decorator. She's a product developer. She's a nutrition and health personnel, also a project manager, and a member of NIFS tea. Amazing. I was actually going to ask the meaning of NIFST. Can we have okay, yes, great. Please, can you tell us the meaning of NIFST, because I was not able to get the full this thing from the abbreviation.
It's Nigeria Institute of Food Science and Technologies.
Amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
so the next
It's
question
like
I
all
want to
these
ask is, there are some
icon,
children.
all
Yes.
these icons.
Adults
So
have
that's the
this
one for
emotional
food
eating.
science.
Sometimes you see some, let's even take for most Hollywood movies, you see that when they have heartbreak, the next thing they want to go is sugary things. They want to take chocolates, ice cream, and just keep eating and chewing on things. Of course, I know children to go through these emotional stages too. They go through, sometimes maybe their parents is not happy with them and beats them up. You see, that's the point where they just want to keep eating and eating. So I just want to ask, is there any strategy that you think mothers can apply to prevent their children from having emotional eating or any food related issue in when they notice their child has a food related issue? What do you think they can be able to do to help that child still eat well and not probably overeat or even just avoid eating? And before you know, the child might just get so, it might just get so bad that the child will even tell you doesn't have appetite. A child that eats very well, you just find that the child is not eating so much again, not because it's going through any punishment at home or maybe at school. It could just be an emotional thing for them. What do you think mothers can be able to do to help the child?
Yeah. So one thing we need to do as mothers is that we should pay attention to our children. So if we pay attention to them, when they have emotional swing, then we'll be able to know. Then we should know our child. We should know their eating habits. I will keep on referring to my children. I know the one that eats well. I know the one that does not eat well. So if the one that eats well, I notice is not eating the right quantity he's supposed to take, or maybe he's having leftover, then I need to call his attention to it and know what exactly is the problem. Because even as adults too, we need to engage our mind, because at times when you are idle, that is when you find out that all you just want to do is to eat. All you just want to do is to be feeding yourself up with lots of unnecessary things. But when you are busy, you find out that at times you even forget to eat. So one thing to do to overcome emotional eating is to get busy. Do what you like. When you do what you like, then you will be able to help that feeling, so that you don't just end up falling back to food, falling back to, yes, I want to eat. You don't eat at all time. So what parents can do for their children is to make sure that you know your child, and whatever emotional problem they are having, then we should be able to support them and let them understand. I will keep on going back to let children understand the benefits of each of the food they are consuming. Because many a times, if you don't know the benefits you get from a thing, it's either you abuse it or you neglect it. So once they know the benefits, even if you don't want to eat, you end up forcing yourself to eat. Like when a child is sick, they don't have appetite. And many a times you give them, even if it is maybe supplements, in order to accommodate the deficiency they may want to have at that particular time. So these are the things I think we need to do. I cannot hear you.
To be very fast because we have less than 10 minutes. Now, I want to let me just ask the first one before the other one. Now, the first one is about beverages. Now, I could remember growing up as a child, oh Lord, we ate bread and tea like I don't know. In fact, every morning it is bread and tea. Every morning, to the extent that once it's Saturday, weekend, we are always excited because it's something else we're going to eat. Maybe it's bean cake or, we could even eat something different. And on Sunday, it's rice with chicken and all of that. Every Monday to Friday, in the morning before going to school, definitely you're taking bread and beverage, tea. Now I want to ask, do you think that was a healthy or that is a healthy lifestyle for children? What do you think about beverages every morning? Do you think it actually aids their growth or their nutritional standard, or there is something else that it can actually feed a child in the morning? And to be honest, because of how much I took bread and tea, you can't even I can't remember the last time I actually took bread and tea. Like, I do not even want to see you take it around me. I'm just so exhausted with it. Do you understand? So I don't know, psychologically too, I think it sometimes might even affect a child when it's too much, like you said, abuse. You understand? But I don't know if I'll even call it abuse, because they're actually feeding you well. So what's your take on beverages for children?
Okay, thank you. So for beverages for children, yes, they are growing. They need it. When children, most of the time, they are not static. Children, they jump around. So whatever thing they take, we believe they will burn it. But for me, taking bread and tea every time, we are in the same shoe. The same when I was growing up, that was the same thing we also experienced, and you can see it in our look now. So it is not too healthy. Yeah. Even if they are to take bread, like my children too, they like to eat bread and tea. But one thing I do, it's not every day I allow them to take it with tea. There are days I make it into a toast, then I tell them you take it with water. And I let them understand the reason. At times, if they have taken tea maybe 3 times in a week, I tell them for this week, you are not going to take tea again, because you've taken it 3 times already. It's not as if I cannot afford it, or it's not as if I'm trying to maybe, I don't know. It's just because of their health benefits. And many a times I keep on explaining to them the reason behind this my action, so they can understand. So tea and bread is good, but should not be an everyday thing. Rather, there are morning that when they are going to school, it is only fruit they take. But I make sure I give them in reasonable amount, so that they can be filled. And there are days that it can be pap and maybe bean cake, or pap and maybe with plantain. There are days it can be rice, but definitely not tea and bread every day, because tea is loaded with lots of added sugar, while bread is processed, and we all know it's made of refined flour. Is also loaded with some even put artificial preservative. So that there are some bread that you buy it for 1 week, it is still fresh. What makes it to be fresh is because of the preservative. And eating too much of preservative is not good for our health. You find out that today in Nigeria, many of the illnesses that we don't know about when we were growing up now is all over the place. Why? Because of what majority of us are eating. So, like me, I believe that food should be like a medicine. So you eat food as if you are taking drug. So that way you will check what you are eating, and you make sure that you are eating in an healthy way. Don't eat because you need to eat. Eat because your body needs nutrients.
Amazing. Eat because your body needs nutrients, not because you need to eat. You even said something. You said sometimes you mix it with you mix bean cake with pap, or pap with plantain. Plantain is one of the things that right now I don't think you can ever see me eating plantain. I'm going to say I abused it, or they abused it with me, but it's weird when I say that I don't eat plantain. People are like, are you human at all? You don't like plantain? But
Wow.
the truth is, I ate a lot of it growing up that I don't even want to. Like, you can have it, but I don't even need it. And there are some persons, like you said now, if you have to feed them fruits, you have to make sure that you don't overfeed them, or so that they don't get lazy in school. And I realized one of the reasons why I really needed to talk to my parents that I don't want to eat bread and tea again. In fact, don't give me breakfast again, because when I take bread and tea, when I get to school, in fact, the first class I'm having, I'm already feeling very sleepy, like I didn't have a good sleep. Yeah, I get so tired, so fagged out. even till date, I find it hard to take breakfast because I feel like when I do, in my head, because of the experience, I feel like I'm just going to sleep. So I just avoid it and just take lunch and dinner. It's even amazing. You see some adults, they are going to work and they are taking bolus of fufu or eba with soup in the morning. And you see them, if I don't take it, I won't be able to work. I'm like, where they boy you? But anyways, we're not talking about adults, we're talking about children. So the last question I'm going to ask you is about supplements. You know, growing up as a child too, yes, I have to put myself in the situation too. Growing up as a child, we had fish oil, we had vitamin C, B complex, and there's one other one again where we take it every day, just at night.
There's Sunday
eating dinner, you know, we stay a little bit, like 30 to 1 hour, then we take the supplements and go to bed. And then my parents always say it's very good, it helps your skin. And to be honest, I knew my skin was very nice then, because you see some people in school, then secondary school, they ask you, what are you using on your body, what cream? And then a lot of people just wanted to bleach and be fair, but I did not know that it was those supplements that were really helping my skin, because we're just using petroleum jelly at home, or what is thing they call Elaki. Till now I've not even tried to find the real name, but they call it Elaki. I think it's coconut oil, I think so. So it was really helping the body. But I just want to ask, as a nutritionist, what are the important supplements that a child should at least be able to take per day? You know, even if it's expensive, the cheapest one that every mother should be able to give their child, even after a meal, before going to bed, or maybe before going to school. Please, you can answer the question now, basically.
Okay, so when we talk about supplements for children, there are some supplements that children also can take. Like for me, most of the supplements, I go majorly for food. You understand? Majorly, I go for food item. That is what I can process, what I can give to them, because I know they need a lot of vitamins. Give them oranges. Then one thing that you always find in my house is vitamin C. Then at times multivites. The vitamin C, I buy that one, the 500 milligram. And if it is the 1,000 I get, then we cut it into 2 for each of them to take, because 1,000 is too much for children. So then there are some we used to take then, Sunday. I don't know if you remember that as well. But I have not come across that presently.
Recently.
So on supplements, what I do majorly for my children, or what I recommend, is to give them nutrient-based meal. There they can always absorb all this nutrient that they need from food, because you know what you are giving to them. Because at times some of these supplements too, they are also made up of, I won't want to talk too much. Some of them also have some artificial, you know, in them. Some of them also have some chemicals which we are not prior to. All we know is that, oh, this is it is supplement. But when you know the process by which they put them together, you find out that it's not really what they are called. So for me, what I do majorly, sincerely, food is medicine in my house. I don't have paracetamol at home. They talk of first aid. They talk of, I don't have it, sincerely. And to the glory of God, we hardly fall sick, sincerely. I'm not making mouth. God has been faithful, because I make sure we eat healthy. So once we are able to do that, and by myself, all this ginger, garlic, turmeric, I boiled it together. When I boil, so that the children can take it, I blend a mix of pineapple, so to make it sweet. I had enough pineapple to eat. Meanwhile, I already I've loaded it with ginger, with garlic, with turmeric, a little of clove, lemongrass. You understand? So by the time I had the pineapple, they will be the one to be reminding me, Mommy, you have not given us we call it, that's what they call agbo in my house. So I'm giving that, I'm able to, and what does it do? It boosts their immunity. It boosts their immune system because I put oranges, you understand? And oranges also is loaded with vitamin C. The orange, what I do is I just wash it. So with the back, I don't peel it, I slice it, then I pour it inside. Then I make sure I boil it maybe for like 10-15 minutes. Once it comes to boil, then I sieve it. Then we fill it up inside small bottles and we put it in the fridge or freezer. So, and by the time they take that, sincerely, I'm good to go. I can't say I have a special supplement I give to my children. That's the truth.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. You said a whole lot, but of course, what are we going to do? When a nutritionist speaks, we have to listen. And to be honest, from your breakdown, the food is actually the medicine. You just even made a statement now where you have turmeric, ginger, beetroot, cloves. All these things are very healthy. You mix it and you just said it, because I was already thinking, that will not be sweet now. How would the children take it? You just even mentioned it. You said you put pineapple to make it very sweet, because pineapple is one of the sweetest fruits you can blend. And in fact, you can take a full 1 liter without even knowing you are actually, taking something that is more like a drug, which is very, very good. And I really subscribe to what you said, and I think I'm going to actually do that. It's what you feed yourself, because like you said, they are chemicals, and you are trying to be mild, so we need the drugs too. I understand that, but at the same time, as a nutritionist, you just have to still say what is right. And basically, most of all these things, they get it from this same fruit. But they put preservative, they put their own other things and package it into a capsule, and you have to take it. But at that time, it's no more fresh. This time around, you call it chemical. So yes, so we really subscribe to what you said, and thank you very much for the advice you dish to mothers. And I'm certain every mother out there has learned a whole lot, especially feeding their children the proper meal and what they need to take per day. And like someone like me now, you already changed my mind. We're not going for drugs anymore, because I love vitamin E. But what I'm going to do now is to go look for a food or a fruit that has vitamin E and keep taking it. If I don't even like the smell or the taste, I put pineapple and I'm good to go. So I want to appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. I really enjoyed myself, and I learned a whole lot. From all of us at Galaxy TV, we really appreciate you. We love you, and we say thank you for joining the program. But I hope you enjoyed yourself on the program too.
Same here. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. And that's it from Adekemi, a nutritionist. We talked about nutrition for health and children. And that's it from her. She's a food technologist. She's a quality control personnel, a baker, event decorator, product developer, nutritionist, and a health personnel. She's a project manager and a member of NIFST. And that's it on Women's Corner for today. My name is Rose Blossom. Up next is News on the Hour, and right after that we'll be having the buzz. Today's buzz is about lifestyle, relationship, marriage, and what's trending online. Until I come your way again, have a good day. Bye for now.